What's up, everybody? It's JT Sports back to you guys with another video. And I'm here with my New Orleans Saints 2019 NFL record prediction, predicting the Saints win-loss record week by week for the 2019 NFL season. Now, the New Orleans Saints are one of the 5 best teams in the NFC conference. I mean, they're a very, very good team, but they have a very, very tough schedule. I mean, this schedule is brutal. These guys play 6 playoff teams that were in the playoffs from last season. And the more scary thing is, other than those 6 teams, they play potentially 8 to 9 teams that could potentially make it to the playoffs this year that are very, very talented. So I mean, this is a very brutal schedule. They have one of the most tough schedules in all of football. But New Orleans Saints, they should be able to, win most of these games. I feel this New Orleans Saints team, their division is going to be a lot tougher than what it was last season because Atlanta was banked up and in Carolina, they're improved. They're not world beaters like what Carolina Panther fans believe, but they are improved, and the signing of Gerald McCoy makes them have a very good defensive line up front. So you also got Tampa in there. Tampa, their defense worries me a lot. But their offense is going to be something that you can't take them lightly. So let's get into it. So week 1, they kick off the season with a bang, playing the Houston Texans on Monday Night Football on ESPN. Now, this is a very interesting game right here because we see 2 high-powered offenses. The New Orleans Saints defense and the Houston Texans defense both have their strengths. They both have their weaknesses. New Orleans has a very talented defense. Their secondary looks solid on paper, and their defensive line is pretty good. Houston is very good up front with Jadeveon Clowney and J.J. Watt making one of the best pass rushing tandems in the NFL, but their secondary has a bunch of questions as their secondary was not good last season. We also get the bonus of seeing one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, probably one of the best quarterbacks in NFL history, in Drew Brees, versus one of the better young and up and coming quarterbacks in Deshaun Watson. So that's going to be an interesting matchup. I'm going to go with the New Orleans Saints to win this game. I think the New Orleans Saints are going to be able to win this game because it is at home. Very hard to win in New Orleans. And I believe that New Orleans is a better team than Houston. This is going to be a high scoring affair because despite the New Orleans Saints having what on paper looks to be a very good secondary with Marcus Williams, Marshawn Lattimore, and the rest of those guys, they give up a lot of points in matchups like this against very good offenses. So this is going to be a very entertaining matchup. New Orleans should win this. Week 2, they play the Los Angeles Rams. We already know this game is going to be very, very personal. It's going to be very, very intense. It's going to be very, very physical when considered the fact that how the New Orleans Saints lost last season to the Los Angeles Rams. This game is going to mean a lot. It's going to be a very emotional game for both of these teams because the LA Rams want to prove that, they didn't make it to the Super Bowl by a fluke, and the New Orleans Saints want to prove that, they deserve to be in the Super Bowl and that they really got robbed, in which they did get robbed in that game. But this game is going to weigh a lot. And this game is going to be one of the best matchups to watch. I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Rams to win. I think the New Orleans Saints, they're going to be a little bit more emotionally, drawn into the game than what the LA Rams are going to be. And I think that's going to be a disadvantage because, New Orleans, they're probably going to have some unsportsmanlike penalties, stuff like that. Just some emotional penalties and extracurricular activity. I mean, the LA Rams, they could win this game as well, but I just think New Orleans is just going to be a little bit too emotional into this game. And although football, you want to, put your emotions into the game, I think it's a such thing as being too emotionally involved in the game. And that's how we get unnecessary penalties and, extracurricular activities on the field. So I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Rams to win this game. Week 3, they had their second straight road game at Seattle. I have them winning that game versus the Seattle Seahawks. The Seattle Seahawks, they could win this game as well, but I think the New Orleans Saints are the better team. I think it's going to be a pretty high scoring affair. It could go either way because, Seattle, as long as they have Russell Wilson, they're always going to be pretty competitive and pretty hard to beat. And it's going to be at home. So I have the New Orleans Saints getting this win. I just think they're going to be the better team. Going to be a close game, but New Orleans should win this game. Before I go to my Week 4 prediction versus the Dallas Cowboys, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel as I upload NFL videos and NFL content daily. Also, make sure to share the video with your friends and family. Tell them about the channel to help spread the word of my channel and helps the channel grow. So Week 4. They're playing the Dallas Cowboys. Now, this is a home game. This is going to be probably one of the most interesting matchups, probably this NFL season. I think when I do my top 10 games you have to watch, this is going to be number one on that list because this is going to be a very good game because these are two of the best teams in the NFC. They could pretty much end up playing against each other in the NFC Championship game coming in January of next year. So I mean, this is going to be a very big matchup, very interesting game to watch. The Dallas Cowboys, a very talented team, probably the most complete roster in all of football. Also, the New Orleans Saints are a pretty talented team as well. This is going to be a very entertaining matchup. It's going to, be very hard for the Dallas Cowboys to win this game at New Orleans, but I think the New Orleans Saints lose this game and the Dallas Cowboys come out with the victory. And the big reason why is because I think the Dallas Cowboys are a more complete team than the New Orleans Saints. And the New Orleans Saints have a very good offense. Their defense is also very good on paper. But when you just look at how talented the Dallas Cowboys defensive line is, having one of the best defensive lines in all of football, and also probably one of the best linebacking cores in all of football. The wide receiving core is also pretty good as well. The running game is pretty good. They have the best offensive line in football. I mean, this is going to be a pretty hard team for the New Orleans Saints to beat and have them losing this game. Week 5, they play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I have them losing this game as well. Tampa Bay is going to be able to pull up the upset because Tampa Bay, they're not going to be a bad team on the offense side of the ball. I think they're going to have one of the better offenses in the NFL because of the addition of Bruce Arians. And this is going to be for a high-scoring game because we know New Orleans Saints defenses against very good offensive-minded coaches and very good offenses. Despite how much time they have on that side of the ball, they get into shootouts a lot. So this is going to be one of those games that's going to be a shootout. And I think since it's going to be a shootout, it's going to favor Tampa because I think Tampa is going to have the opportunity to pull off the upset if they're able to get the ball last. And I think that's what's going to happen. Week 6, they come to Jacksonville to face the Jacksonville Jaguars, having to win in that game. Although the Jacksonville Jaguars have one of the most talented defenses in all of the NFL, they're going to have to be able to put some points on the board. I don't think they're going to be able to do that because I don't really have a lot of confidence in their wide receiving core. I don't think their wide receiving core is terrible by any stretch, but I just need to see a lot more out of the wide receiving core and a lot more of the offense. You're not going to be able to beat the Saints just pounding the ball, run the ball like 25 times a game and stuff like that. You're going to have to be able to score some points and beat them through the air as well. And although the Jacksonville Jaguars with Nick Foles, they're going to be able to stay in this game, I just don't think they're going to be able to put up enough points, and their defense isn't going to be able to keep the Saints from scoring enough points that they're going to need to win. So I think the New Orleans Saints win this game 24-14. Week 7, they travel on the road to face the Chicago Bears. This is another interesting matchup because, like the Cowboys, the Chicago Bears have a very good defense, very good defensive line. I'm going to go with New Orleans to win this game versus the Chicago Bears. It's at home. I think their offense is going to be the difference. And this game could go either way. It's a very tough game to decide. It just depends on what you like more. Do you like offense? Do you want to take the better offensive team in the New Orleans Saints? Or are you going to go with the better defensive team? And I know defense wins championships, but this isn't the Super Bowl and it's not the NFC Championship. It is not a championship game. It is a regular season game. And I think the New Orleans Saints are going to win this game. I know it's going to be tough. Either team can win this matchup, but I think the New Orleans Saints should be able to pull out this victory. Sean Payton should be able to outcoach Matt Nagy. Week 8, they play the Arizona Cardinals. That is going to be an automatic victory. Although Arizona should be able to put up some points on this New Orleans Saints defense, I think New Orleans is going to pull away. Patrick Peterson, he should be back by this point, but I mean, that's not going to be enough to stop this New Orleans Saints offense. Very young secondary in the Arizona Cardinals. Other than Buda Baker and Patrick Peterson, they have a lot of unproven guys there. They're going to win that game without a doubt. Week 10, I have them winning that matchup versus the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons and the New Orleans Saints are going to be going toe-to-toe to see who's going to win the NFC South. And I think the Atlanta Falcons lose this first matchup, and the New Orleans Saints get the better of this matchup the first go around. Week 11, they're playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Having them winning that game is going to be at Tampa, but there's no way that the New Orleans Saints lose to Tampa Bay twice. It's going to be another shootout, but this go around, I think New Orleans is going to be able to get the better of that matchup. Week 12, they play the Carolina Panthers at home. This is going to be an interesting game because the Carolina Panthers have been, on paper, this is a very solid team. I still think they're the third best team in the NFC South, but this is also a playoff team as well. But I'm going to go to New Orleans to win this first meeting. I think New Orleans Saints, they're playing at home. That's going to be in their favor. Very tough to win in New Orleans. That's why I have them winning that game. Thursday night, week 13, pivotal game to decide who's probably going to take first place in the division. You got Atlanta at home playing the New Orleans Saints. Atlanta, they're a way improved team than what they were last season. They suffered a lot of injuries, fully healthy, and even though it's going to be late in the season, they might be a little bit banged up. They're still going to be a pretty doggone good team to beat. So I'm going to go with the Atlanta Falcons to win this matchup. Can't see the New Orleans Saints sweeping the Falcons. Week 14, they play the San Francisco 49ers. I'm going to go with the New Orleans Saints to win this game as well. Now, everybody knows that I'm really, really high on the San Francisco 49ers. I mean, how can you not be? They have a very good pass rushing tandem, and Nick Bosa. You're going to have DeForest Buckner. You also got Dee Ford as well. Then when we go to the linebacker core, you got Quan Alexander, cornerbacks Richard Sherman and Jason Verrett. That defense is going to be very good. But, I just don't think the San Francisco 49ers are going to be able to stop Drew Brees and company. It's going to be a pretty good matchup, but I think the New Orleans Saints are going to win that game. Monday night, week 15, they're playing the Indianapolis Colts at home. This is a game that I feel can go either way. The Indianapolis Colts are a very good football team, very well coached, and this game is going to be a very interesting matchup. We're seeing a very good quarterback in Andrew Luck versus probably one of the best quarterbacks to ever do it, Andrew Brees, facing up against each other. A lot of points should be scored in this matchup. I'm going to take New Orleans 27 to 24. Week 16, they play the Tennessee Titans. Now, the Tennessee Titans is always a tricky team that you really don't want to play at this point in the year because they're a very scrappy team. And, they're a team you don't want to face, especially on the road. But I think New Orleans is going to win this game. I think although Tennessee has a very good defense, they're going to be in that same boat as the Jacksonville Jaguars. I just don't think they're going to be able to put up enough points, even though the scoring will be low, considering it's not going to be a low scoring game, at least from the Saints' perspective. This is going to be a low scoring game because the Saints normally average over like 25 points per game or some crazy number like that. So I think the New Orleans Saints, they're going to have 17 points. They're going to win this game 17-7. I just don't think Tennessee is going to be able to put up enough points to win this game. And week 17, they play the Carolina Panthers at Carolina. I have them losing this game, mostly for the fact that, I can't see them beating Carolina twice, and maybe they rest their starters or something like that. So the record that I have for the New Orleans Saints is 11-5, actually. So the New Orleans Saints could go 12-4, 11-5, but I think 11-5 is a pretty okay record. They could still pretty much get home field advantage, get that 2 seed, but this is a very tough schedule. They could sweep Tampa, but I just don't know. Tampa, that's going to be a tricky game. So a lot of these games could go either way. I think New Orleans will go 11-5, and that's my final prediction. So let me know what you guys think about my predictions down below in the comment section. Also, make sure to check out these other videos on my channel. Make sure to like the video and subscribe